All right, guys, thank you for that carrier update. We'll get one more before we are done here for the day. Right now, we're going to welcome Blythe Brumleve back to the show once again for today's social media topic. And Blythe, just as it was last week, we are talking TikTok once again, so welcome to the show.
I know. I feel like people are getting kind of tired of hearing about it all the time, but I just think it's fascinating the way that this platform is redefining how we interact online.
I think it's fascinating too. And you know what, Anthony? We didn't get your TikTok account set up last week. We're going to make it happen this week. But we did get Donnie on TikTok. He got on TikTok yesterday. So one at a time.
Nice.
Donnie's the guy that can go viral.
That's all we can ask. Yeah, you can. It's very easy to go viral, but it's also not what it's all cracked up to be. There's a lot of bad stuff that comes with going viral.
The hate comments on TikTok really just are unreal. But Blythe, let's get into today's topic. And TikTok as a marketing strategy, TikTok as now kind of this go-to opportunity. What can you tell us?
So with a lot of TikTok, well, when you think about it, just back it up just a little bit. When you think about how we interact with modern media, so think about opening up Netflix or opening up YouTube, you have to scroll for a while to find what you actually want to watch, pick and choose and make that decision. And sometimes at the end of the day, you're too tired for making those decisions. It's called decision fatigue. And so with TikTok and what they've kind of revolutionized is that taking away that decision of deciding what to watch. They are a content first platform. And so when you open the app, the videos immediately start playing. There's no decision to be made. You can scroll if you don't particularly like that video, but they are betting that the content that they're showing you is something that you're going to like versus other social media platforms, which those other social media platforms are now copying a lot of what TikTok has made famous. And a lot of these other platforms, their users are just not having it. And it was Kylie Jenner yesterday that she tweeted out or she posted on Instagram to make Instagram again, because Instagram is moving away from the photo dominance that they've had for so long. I think close to a decade now that they've been dominant as the photo sharing app. But now they're moving away from that. They're becoming a video first app, and it has people up in arms. And especially with Kylie Jenner, the last time she said something about a social media platform, Snapchat lost $1.3 billion in market share. So you might not kind of roll your eyes at, something that the Kardashians may say, but it has real market value and the decisions that these companies are making. And a lot of them now are copying what TikTok is doing and being a content first platform.
So I was on TikTok yesterday, literally watching a video about this exact topic. And the breakdown of it was really, really great because it was a direct comparison between Instagram and TikTok and talking about the rise and the fall of each. And the point that was made by that creator was that Instagram was a person-first platform at its core. And it was made to make you feel like you were sharing and seeing your friends and sharing and seeing the content that you wanted to see. And it really prioritized the person putting in their personal brand or showing what they wanted, whether that was food pictures or selfies or pictures of their dog or pictures of their travels. Whereas TikTok is a creator-focused brand. And you don't do well just by, having an uncurated, this is what my life looks like, where you can do well on Instagram like that. And that's that kind of big deviation to where we've got now TikTok, who is really, really good at suggesting posts and suggesting what people want to say. Their algorithm is good, versus Instagram, who is now doing suggested posts and it's ads and it is all this stuff, which people just don't want to see, and it drives them away from the platform. So with that, bringing it back to the marketing spin of things, if you're a creator and you're looking to still use Instagram and get on it and capitalize on it, how can you make your content be favored by their algorithm and favored by their suggested posts? So even though maybe people aren't using it, they're still getting eyes on it.
Well, Instagram has made it very clear that that where you need to find success is through Reels. So you really have, Reels is a TikTok clone. So it's sort of like YouTube Shorts, which is another sort of copying of TikTok. But in order to make it on Instagram, the growth is really, really slow. And this is what happens, sort of the evolution of these different social media platforms, where they reach a certain level of user base, then that platform starts monetizing. And naturally, with any kind of monetization, that leaves, users to go to another platform where there are less ads. I've seen people complain that, for every 2 posts that Instagram shows, there's another 2 ads, or there's an ad for every 2 posts that you're seeing. So it is dominated by ads, as Instagram is also transitioning into becoming a shopping first platform. So if you're making videos and you have e-commerce products, maybe on, an Etsy site or somewhere else, it's not really, I guess, relevant to freight, but that is how you're going to technically grow on Instagram per Instagram. A lot of the complaints that come around when they say, I just want to see photos of that was a big complaint yesterday when when Kylie posted about Instagram. And so Adam Morrissey, who is the head of strategy over at Instagram, caused him to release a few videos and a few tweets over on different social media platforms explaining the breakdown and talking about, yes, I would love to be able to show you more images from your friends and your close connected network, but frankly, that growth just isn't happening there. That's happening. The growth for Instagram is happening in DMs and it's happening in stories. And so for the in-feed post, as you're scrolling, if you want to have a chance to grow on Instagram, then you're going to have to play by their rules and constantly, keep updated with how their algorithm is changing and what kind of content they are favoring. Because chances are, if they have a new focus, they need creators to embrace that new focus and they're going to prioritize you more. So if you are just dead set on growing on Instagram, pay attention to what Adam Morrissey says. Pay attention to the releases and what he thinks that you should be focusing on. And that's a good signal as to how to shift your content strategy. A lot of photographers, a lot of image-based profiles are going to be very upset by these different changes because Instagram is not a photo-first platform anymore. They will still support it, but it's just not going to be their priority. And they're not going to show you more so in the feed or, in the explore page. They're not going to show you in those areas if you're not playing by their rules. So you can either play by the rules or you can try another platform where you have a better chance at more organic growth. And that still remains to be LinkedIn and TikTok. That's where you'll have your biggest organic growth.
And Blythe, when I'm learning more and more about TikTok, I'm learning it's about, fast-paced content, being able to catch someone's attention, get across your information and just keep it moving. Is that shifting the way that a lot of consumers are consuming information or consuming different material? When I think of sometimes I'm watching YouTube videos and they say, hey, this is the theme of the video, and then they don't get to the theme of the video until maybe 7-8 minutes in, and then you're just like, why did you just waste all this time? Was it because you want to earn ad revenue? What's going on here? How does this shift how we're consuming content, how Gen Z is going to be looking to really kind of consume marketing material and moving forward?
So with short form video, you really want to focus on getting to the point as soon as possible. That's why your hook, which is the first sentence that you are creating in your video, that's why the hook is so just drastically important, because you can have up to 3-minute long videos over on TikTok. And with the idea that from just my own perspective, if I'm going to create a TikTok, it's going to be 1 to 3 minutes long, and it's going to be a summary of a longer form piece of content. So it's almost, you're going to give them value in that piece of content that they're watching. So it can be anywhere from, 5 seconds to 3 minutes long. But the idea is that somebody will see my content and like it and want to go and follow the podcast or go and, watch a Cyberly show. And so that's the idea whenever you're creating this short form video content, is that you're giving people just a sample. Now you can expand it into multiple videos or, a series of videos. Now they have a playlist feature over on TikTok, but the hook is the most important part. No matter if you're on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, you have to be able to grab people's attention, because attention spans are dropping. I think it's, just seconds now. I think 30 seconds is our attention span. If you don't catch someone's attention within that first 30 seconds or answer that question of whoever is searching for content, say on YouTube, which is the second largest search engine on the planet, typically people are looking for a solution to their problem when they're searching on YouTube. So if you're not getting to that very quickly, then YouTube's algorithm is going to not show your video to as many people. If you get to the point and get to it quickly and people have a positive interaction and they stay on the platform and they watch other videos, or that is the signal to these different social media platforms that this person is creating valuable content that is keeping viewers here. That is the most important metric for any of these social media media platforms is your content keeping people on their platform and not leaving? So it's kind of like a fine line that you got to walk with that balance of creating promotional content that keeps people there and keeps people interested and keeps, your followers increasing and your engagement increasing, but also on the flip side, that also sends, relevant traffic to your other long form pieces of content. So it's thinking about it as almost like a hub and spoke method, where the center of that content is maybe your email newsletter or your website or a podcast, and then the different spokes or the different social media platforms that you distribute little snippets of that content to it.
So Blythe, do we see a point in time where one of these social media platforms, whether it's Meta-based or whether it's TikTok-based, whether it's TikTok's parent company-based, becomes what we would call a super app, where you have everything that a person could feasibly want in their online content in one place, talking short-form video, long-form video, photography, audio only like a podcast, your shopping platform, your jobs networking like LinkedIn? Is there a point in time where we get this to be a super app, or do we still continue to see specialization out of one piece?
I think that we will, it's the main goal for all of these apps to just keep you in their ecosystem and never go to any other platform. That's their main goal. And certainly some of these different platforms, especially with TikTok and especially with Instagram, they want to become a shopping first platform. And it's still with Instagram and Facebook, they are still the number one platforms as far as advertising is concerned. It's much better and much more sophisticated than what TikTok has, but TikTok is closing that gap as far as the advertising technology. And I think that with all of these, and I wouldn't even really put YouTube in that social media category, but I think that YouTube probably has the strongest case for it because they have the ability for short form content all the way up to hours long content. They have live streaming. They have the ability to, be included in search results, where Google is still the dominant player in search results. And so if you have in that Google ecosystem, I think YouTube probably has the best bet, but I would put TikTok as a close second, because I think Instagram and I think Facebook, the user cap has just already reached, and they're going to start seeing declining growth if they don't start listening to some of the concerns that users are having with the platform. They like familiarity, and they don't want to be bombarded with advertisements. But Instagram, I mean, that the livelihood of a platform has to evolve, but it doesn't have to evolve in a way that it's turning users off and it's sending them to other platforms, because the majority of these platforms are fueled by creators. And if creators can't see growth, or if it's slow coming as far as the growth is concerned, then they're going to move to other platforms where that growth is much easier. And even as far as like the creating the content wise, it's much more of a challenge to create these different, short form videos than it is for just post a photo of the lunch that I was eating. So there's much higher barrier of entry. But it's also a challenge, I think, for a lot of folks to learn these new platforms. And I think that that's where a lot of the fun is. So you kind of have to just balance it, where you're focusing on what you want to create, but also what's going to benefit the users and keep the users on the platform, because then that plays to the algorithm gods. And I know it feels like a lot, but that's just the nature of social media and trying to get attention for the things you want attention on.
Blythe, insightful and amazing as always. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. If we had time, I was going to ask about Clubhouse, because that seems like it just kind of came and went overnight. But
a topic for another day.
R.I.P.
All right, Blythe, thank you so much for that. We'll talk to you next week. Right now, we're going to toss it back over to Sydney with a look at what's making news on FreightWaves.com.